Welcome, everybody. We're here, Bar Talk, live at Kent's Pub, Season 1, Episode 1. As always, Tim Piles, my
What am I?
I don't know.
What
I
am
think
I
you're
to
my
you?
compadre, my
Sure.
comrade in arms.
Brother from another mother.
Yeah. And
Nice to
our
see you,
guest,
by the way.
Ray Buffer.
So nice to see Ray Buffer.
Yeah.
So nice for Ray Buffer to be seen.
You've been busy, Ray Buffer. Ray Buffer,
There's people in the pool.
People in the pool waiting to see you do a cannonball later.
I feel like this is Bar Talk Beach House edition.
Have to make sure you lose the cans first.
It's lovely to be in San Diego. This is a lovely night.
Isn't
Lovely
it nice?
place. Yeah.
What do you got going these days lately? You've been so busy. I was reviewing your website and many of your social media things. Number one, you play Santa. You kill it as Santa. From all the research I could find, Santa is a go-to thing for you. Among a myriad of other things, you're kind of a raconteur, a little bit of music, acting, voiceover work. Have you written a book?
I've not written a book. Santa is a fun role. You know, it's something I did from my mid-20s. I actually kind of started by working at Epcot in Florida.
Oh, really?
I was a Canadian Santa there, even in my mid-20s, you know, because you wear appliances.
What's a Canadian Santa? You wear
Joyeux
denim?
Noel! And you pass out chestnuts, and you look like a lumberjack. And yeah, so it was a fun time, you know. And now I found that now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like more age appropriate for Santa. So I actually, you know, grow my own facial hair out, and you know, hopefully in time for Christmas, I can bleach this to a white and bleach the top of my head and my eyebrows, and kind of do a hipster Santa as well as a regular Santa. But then I also have the appliances, because you never know as an actor, you know, when a producer's going to say, well, I need you to shave, or we need to trim you down to a goatee for this. So, you know, I keep it fresh. I try to do not that many personal appearances as Santa so much, but I do like TV and film still as Santa.
I have to ask about the event. I watched a commercial that you did with the Grinch, and it was for an event somewhere. Where in the country is that? And tell me about this event. I want to go personally.
No, sure. No, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, this mega church called Central Church in Henderson, Nevada. They have like 5 or 6 locations. And they would hire me out along with the Grinch actor, and we would pre-tape some things in Arizona. And those would be shown on like a big screen during the services that they do at Christmas. And it would be part of an overall story. So it was a multimedia thing where I would also be there live on stage, but it would kind of interact.
I saw you come in on the sleigh, like through the crowd. That was pretty amazing.
And because it's Vegas, I mean, they're near Vegas. Yeah. It's Vegas standards. So it's like everything. I mean, they've got, you know, silk dancers, you know, coming from the ceiling, and, you know, the Grinch flying in Mission Impossible style from the ceiling, you know. So there's a lot of spectacle, but it's a wonderful thing they do because it's for free to the public.
Oh, cool.
And I'm sure it's an ambassadorship thing where they bring people in and then introduce them to the church. But what a wonderful way to do that, and to give families like this Vegas caliber experience. So
how many of those would you do typically in like a December?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to work for them for a couple of years. So it would be a 10 or 11 day contract. So I would do maybe 4 or 5 days a month prior where we would film stuff.
Yeah.
And then the live action stuff, we'd go in for rehearsals, and then we would do like 5 or 6 days leading up to Christmas. And they would hike it up. So it'd be like, you know, maybe we do like 2 shows, then 3 shows, then 4 shows, then 5 shows. But yeah, it would just be a wonderful experience just to see the faces in the crowd, and to realize that it's something they don't normally get to experience, you know.
Yeah.
And they also do like a food handout kind of thing. So it's just a wonderful thing they do, Central Church.
So the beard will be grown out more by the holidays?
You
Does
know,
it grow that fast?
Knock on granite, we'll see what happens. We're entering
I mean,
July.
you're legit. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to say I want to sit on your lap, but you're like a legit Santa.
But you do. You really do.
I wouldn't have said it out
I think
loud
I would
if I
see it
didn't.
now with like Tim's little feet. Like,
Yeah.
And you're not a small guy, but I was gonna say, going back to the whole Canadian.
What do you want for Christmas? Go ahead, tell me.
Going back to the whole Canadian Santa, I'm like, how did you really pull that off? I mean, you're such a little guy. I mean, you know. So
6'4".
Yeah.
No, I'm
imposing man.
6'4", and because I'm a big guy, I've always been a big guy. I've always played character roles.
Yeah.
Even in my 20s, I would always play 50, 60, 70-year-old guys. Tevye or Uncle Chris or
Hitman number 40.
Exactly.
That's what I always get.
Or Thug number 2 on the left, right?
I'm waiting for you both to be, Thug 1 and 2
That'd
in
be
a
great.
film, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe after this, you guys can figure that out. Cause
exactly.
it
Mine's
looks
typically like Goon number 7 or something.
The nice thing is now they save on makeup because now I'm actually approaching the right age, the age that I've been playing for 30 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I noticed. I mean, you played you've been on loads of things, maybe like one episode of something, but you've made, this is a 30-year career you've had in film and television, and I don't know, what stands out amongst all these things? I know we're kind of overhead Curb Your Enthusiasm is playing, and you were on an episode
it's not
of
my
that.
episode, but I was in the fourth season, which was a really cool season to be part of because it was Mel Brooks' producer's season. Mel Brooks appeared in it. David Schwimmer was in there. Ben Stiller, and it was just a fun
That's a great
storyline
cast right there.
Yeah,
just in itself.
But just to meet those guys and work with them and be able to improvise a few lines and have that be like a little legacy, a little part of history that's always there for people to see. That's a cool thing. So I would say definitely that's a highlight. But hubris as an actor is something you have to be aware of because 2004 is when I did that, and I booked that gig, and it was like AFTRA, and I'm union, and I'm like, this is it. This is
right.
Everything is
the door's
looks
open.
up from here. The people are going to have parades in my name, and of course nothing happened after that. And so I had to go back and do survival jobs for a few years, and then get back into it as I.
Did you have a gap in between? You did some acting and then kind of came back to it?
Yeah, I think 2004, 2005 was kind of the drop-off. But then I decided, I'm going to produce and direct and do some theater for a while and kind of look at it from the management side of things. And I did that, and then the artsy part of me said, well, but I also want to be in some of the shows. So I would put myself in some shows, and then I learned a lesson that I don't like directing a show and being in a show because it's very hard to turn the ears off and to not hear someone complain about there not being enough bottled water or their costume not fitting. And you're trying to be an actor in the scene, and you're hearing this still, and it's like, I just want to be an actor now. So since the pandemic, that's all I've been doing is just like showing up, knowing my lines, being ready.
That's awesome.
Having a beard if I need a beard.
Sure.
That's really good in terms of, I love hearing both sides of the story in terms of like acting, directing. I tried to dabble in a couple of those as well. Obviously, most of my stuff's behind the camera. I don't really consider myself an actor of any rapport, but how bad did, like, say COVID and even like the strike, how bad did that affect? Because a lot of people don't understand, like you're saying, going back, you have a breakout role and then going back and having to, like you're saying, doing some of those life-saving roles and even like commercials. And I mean, a lot of people don't realize like commercials pay the bills a lot of times. And, my kids started off as like child actors, and I mean, some of the stuff that they were able to do when they were infants now is paying off. Now they're going to school and they don't have to work full time because now they're relying on some of that stuff. But
you did that to your kids?
Yeah.
Really?
I blame the wife.
Well, you had twins too.
Yeah,
twin boys.
So they played one character.
So that's made for showbiz right there.
But going back to like say COVID and even like the strikes, like were you affected like pretty drastically, or do you have enough irons in the fire to where it's?
Yeah. No, I credit a decision I made shortly after the pandemic that for the amount of work that I was getting, I became FICOR. So if you don't know what that is, SAG-AFTRA is a union, and California is a right-to-work state. And because I realized, I got a lot of offers to do non-union work at really nice, lucrative wages. And why do I keep turning this down just to hopefully get a $180 background job on one show through SAG once a month? It's like, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I exercised my FICOR status. That reduced my dues a little bit. I don't get a membership card every quarter, but I still have a membership number. I still do SAG jobs when they come my way, but now I can also work non-union. And so to answer your question, that kept me afloat during the pandemic and during the strike. I was out there with a picket sign striking, but I was also working a couple non-union jobs to pay the bills.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
What would be a non-union job? Like, explain.
So there's this new thing now called vertical drama series. They're essentially soap operas that you can download on your phone. There's Chinese companies that are funneling money into the U.S. to produce these for them. Money goes back to China, but they're based on Chinese romance novels, and so they have some unusual titles. But you download an app, you watch the episode. Each episode's a minute. And they write these scripts. They could be 100, 120-page scripts, but they're 1 minute increments. So it's kind of like a short attention span theater.
Yeah.
So you watch it, and then at the end of the minute, you can either, watch an ad or buy a subscription in order to see the next minute and continue on.
Literally watching a page of a script.
Yeah, and it's like vertical format. So it's like
That's what I was going to ask.
It's
so
TikTok. It's long ways, right? So to answer your question, that is a non-union project. There are a lot of companies out there, they're booking these as non-union projects, but they still pay the leads around $400 or $500 a day, which is comparable to a SAG scale fee. But they just don't have all the restrictions that SAG would require.
8-hour days, or are you shooting like 12 hours?
They'll shoot 8, they'll shoot 10, they'll shoot 12, but they do pay overtime, And they have day player roles, they have background roles. It's just like any other production. But there's a lot of them out there, a plethora of these soap operas that are coming from China now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, consumption is so weird now, right? And especially the younger generation. Like, people aren't going to the movies as much. And this is how we're getting all of our entertainment is through our phone, especially the younger generation. Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting to see as that develops. I still like going to the theater. You like going to the theater?
I do. But, I think now it's maybe becoming more of a special occasion as opposed to something we just take for granted and go willy-nilly. I know for myself there are shows that I'll wait until they come on streaming or, I know, even though it just came out, I know, well, based on how popular or, how much money went into it, I know, well, maybe a month from now it'll be on streaming. I'll just wait for it.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. But, I had to go see Furiosa on the big screen. And I did go see The Bike Riders. You go see that one?
No. I haven't been to the movies in forever.
You have kids. You got that nice big screen in your rumpus room.
It is pretty crazy, and I don't even so much find the ticket prices being so enormously extravagant, but by the time you add the $19 tub of popcorn and the 64-ounce gallon of Coke.
Tuesdays right over there, man. It's $5, half price on buckets and wings.
Where at? Let's promote a theater.
Grossmont Center at the Reading
Grossmont.
Cinemas.
Yeah.
They got the Titan XC, which is bigger than IMAX.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Because I want to see you guys as large as possible if I'm going to see something.
Yeah.
Because we're not large enough.
I will say, I haven't been to the movies. I can't remember the last movie I went to, and was like, when you were a kid and you used to see realistically, like Star Wars or Indiana Jones or any of those action films,
the blockbusters. You got to see on the big screen.
That was like one of those things for me and my family. We'd always go to the movies on Sundays. You hit the matinee because my parents were cheap. Only get the 99-cent box of popcorn, which then was probably a quarter. My dad was like, no, you can have a box of popcorn or you can have a soda, and it's not going to be a soda. Because
your family wasn't the one that snuck stuff in?
No.
Brought their own stuff in?
That's the way to do it.
Exactly. My mom would have beat me with a Bible.
Can I tell you I'm in a movie right now?
What is
I'm
it?
in a movie in theaters right now.
Which one?
Well, I'm in the Kia Forum with about 20,000 other people, so I don't think you can see me. But I didn't go see myself in the theaters. Again, I didn't get to see. Maybe when the DVD comes out and I can freeze it for those great crowd shots. Quite possibly the greatest band in the world. They're the Scandinavian band called Ghost.
I haven't heard of it.
You're not familiar with Ghost?
No.
It's like a religious experience. Anyway,
I will
anybody
say-
listening, go check out the band Ghost. I'm telling you
Ghost.
about the band Ghost.
Perfect.
They have a theater, a movie in theaters right now, and
Is it
it's a
called
concert
Ghost?
film. It's called Right Here, Right Now.
Oh,
And anyway, it's a little bit of a story, but it's a concert film, and that's my big acting debut. I didn't get
Nice.
paid; I had to pay to go to the show.
I got kicked out of the forum.
You did? What'd you do?
Kiss.
Who kicks you
When
out?
Kiss. Well, I wouldn't say I was kicked out. I was asked to leave politely. When Kiss came out, it was '96. They were at the forum,
Sure.
and me and a buddy of mine, we drove up there and had a phenomenal time. And we might have had a little bit too much to drink, and they told us we should probably pack
go.
up and leave. And I had to be at work the next day in San Diego. I was like,
I'm scared to go out and drink with you all night sometime.
I'm scared myself.
You know what my first concert was? I'm going to ask all of you your first concerts, so I'm going to share this right now. Because my first concert at 11 years old was Kiss and
Kiss.
Cheap Trick.
Wow.
What about you?
At 11, you went to
My
Kiss?
mother from the Midwest took me.
Well,
It's like seeing a cartoon live on stage, but
you're gonna laugh your ass off.
Garth
when you
Brooks.
Hear, no, close.
Clint Black.
The Statler Brothers.
Statler Brothers.
Wow.
Oh man.
That was my first concert, followed quickly by it was the Seven Wishes Night Ranger
Uh-oh.
Seven Wishes tour, which was like, oh, that was the first time I literally thought I was deaf, like would be deaf for the rest of my life.
Where were the Statlers? The one with the bass that went bow.
I love that one, but that wasn't the
I think
Statler
that was
Brothers.
Alabama no, that was
Yeah,
Was
they
it?
did ooh papa mow mow.
Was it Alabama?
It's close, but I don't
Yeah.
think so. We have to
Alabama.
look that one
yeah,
up.
maybe it was a Statler.
What was your
Brothers.
first concert?
It was
Like
also
big concert.
It was also my first date
Oh,
with a lady.
thanks for
I
clarifying.
like
Yeah.
how you had to specify.
She was 74. I was 13.
That's hot.
Yeah. She was Roberta Royce, my music teacher from middle school. And she offered to take me to go see Neil Sedaka
Dude, no
Pants
way.
optional.
at the
Optional.
West Palm Beach Auditorium. And she pulled up in her Volkswagen van that had like Flintstone floors because there was like rusted holes under her brakes. And she could not see a thing driving us there. I remember like we had like 4 or 5 almost that close head-on collisions. And it was, I saw Neil Sedaka. And,
Neil Sedaka.
That's where the music takes me.
Dude, we gotta play some Neil Sedaka.
I'm a fan. I'm not
I,
afraid. I'd go see Neil Sedaka.
So
Somebody
that
I've missed.
Where-
I'm going to
what
put
was-
him on my bucket
What
list.
was the venue?
I did not get lucky that night, just in
was
case
the-
you're
what was-
wondering.
Thank you.
What was
Thank you.
What was the venue?
It was the Palm Beach Auditorium.
Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, going back to your childhood, obviously you were 13. You grew up in Florida,
In Florida. I was born in Florida, lived there.
Palm Beach area.
Palm Beach area until 95. Then I moved to Orlando. I was there for the last 5 years. Then I moved out to California in 99, 2000.
You were adopted, right?
I was.
And did you find your birth parents?
did.
Your mother. You found
I
your
did.
mother,
What?
but she wouldn't
Yeah.
tell you, or she doesn't know who your father is.
I found my father
You found
too,
him.
but I just don't put that in the bio, the official
Ah.
bio. But yeah, I found the mother, my mother. We're friends.
The mother.
We're friends. She lived like 50 miles away from where I grew up.
50?
So she was 50.
Wow.
So yeah, I met her, and 6 months after I was relinquished, she ended up adopting a son. And then later she adopted a daughter as well. So it's kind of a funky story,
Yeah.
right?
Huh.
But yeah, she wasn't in a place when I was born. But then
Yeah.
6 months later, things got better, and she got married, and she wanted a family. And
Different times.
yeah.
Different times.
so yeah, I ended up. Long story short, I hired a company called Ken Solving back in 2003. They found her and her sisters, and I was singing with the Mondovani Orchestra doing a tour at that time, and it just so happened that the tour was going through Ohio, where 2 of the sisters lived. I lived in Huntington Beach at the time, and the oldest aunt in the family lived in North Hollywood. So I started with her, knocked on the door with yellow roses, introduced myself, told her my story. We talked for hours. She showed me pictures. And from that point, I decided, okay, I will make my way down to my mother. And I went ahead and flew down there, had my reunion with her, went very well. We spent hours talking. And then I did my tour with the Montevideo Orchestra, and that led us into Ohio, and I met them as well, all in the same year. I just had
What
this
year?
reunion.
What year was that?
It must have been 2004, 2005.
Oh, wow. 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's important.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have kids or yourself?
I don't have kids, but I do have 2 small dogs.
Perfect.
I have a wife and 4 small dogs, but
Nice.
no kids either. What kind of dogs?
I have a Cairn Terrier named Franklin, and a couple years later we adopted a stray Shih Tzu mix, and we named her Aretha because she barks and everything and demands respect.
Nice.
Very
so we
nice.
have Aretha and Franklin.
That's
I love
awesome.
it, Aretha Franklin.
Dude, so-
Right on. We're going to take a break. Are we wrapping this up? Break time? Wrapping
Yep.
it up.
I see lots of hand gestures.
Break, break, break.
Falling hard like a tidal wave, kaleidoscope spiraling in outer space. Nothing like I've ever seen, it's just a thing of beauty.
It is Bar Talk. We're back. Kevin Kent, we're here at your bar. This is your bar.
Kent's Pub.
You have a band of brothers that hang out here. What do you call yourselves?
We're the Oak Ridge Boys. Since we
And
live
that
on-
was the band we were
That was
talking
the
about.
song.
That was the
The
band
Oompa
we were trying to
Baba.
figure out.
Yeah, I love it's synergy. It all comes together.
There it
We are
is.
here with Ray Buffer. Is that your real name?
It is my real name.
Your birth name?
Yeah, I'm not. We were talking about me being adopted earlier, but I am no relation to Michael or Bruce Buffer, who are famous
they?
announcers.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah. No relation that I know of. But you know those found money websites that you can go to see
Sure.
if you
Put
have
your name
any
in there.
checks. Yeah.
Yep.
So I put my name in there for Florida, and I see tons for both Michael and Bruce, like thousands of dollars. I don't know
Nothing for
why they
Ray,
don't
huh?
why they don't claim their money. I already claimed mine, but I don't know why they don't claim theirs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I understand you have quite a military background from everything I saw in the house earlier.
What are you doing in my house?
Well, that's where you had me sit down.
I'm surprised you didn't get shot.
Yeah. So since this is season 1, episode 1, yes, I guess the audience doesn't really know us that well, Tim Piles. But
Oh, I'm a legend.
well, as
In
always,
my own mind,
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I did 21 years in the SEAL teams.
Wow.
I was born overseas in Greece. I was an Army brat. So being brought out here is, the reason I still live in San Diego. I came out here 30 years ago for the military and just fell in love with it.
Sure.
Literally, I mean, looking around, you look at every tree in this front and backyard. I literally planted every tree with the exception of that one queen palm over there. And it's not like that I have such a green thumb. I grew up working on a farm with my grandparents and stuff like that. But I don't know what it is. I'm like, it's very therapeutic in terms of like growing
I like to grow
palm
plants.
trees and stuff. But yeah, so for me, coming out to San Diego, I fell in love with this place right off the bat. I went through SEAL training, which is about 6 months in Coronado. And then, at the end, you're filling out your little brag sheet, or not your brag sheet, but your little your wish list. You typically put 3 places you want to go, and mine was like SEAL Team 1, SEAL Team 3, SEAL Team 5. I'm like, I don't want to leave the West Coast, and I wound up with orders of SEAL Team 5, and pretty much stayed here the whole time. And we've been in this house for 18 years. So my twin boys were 3 months old when we moved here.
Wow.
And so yeah, we've done so much work to this place, and we love it. Obviously, it's kind of Shangri-La here.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I
but
mean,
yeah.
the audience can't see it, but it's just like a remarkable view of that valley behind you. It's
Yeah.
And I can tell you've incrementally just kept adding and adding as the years go.
Yeah, for sure. My neighbors can't stand me, but I don't really give a shit about them.
I want to be an Oak Ridge boy. I think I'm going to come over more often.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of the neighbors, I think we should get a side pour.
Ooh.
What's your favorite cocktail?
Oh, that's a tough one, but probably mezcal. I like pure. I like nice.
We're not drinking a cocktail, are we? What's a side pour? What do you mean by
So a
like,
side pour,
Not a shot?
So this is something me and my neighbors, we typically we'd go across the street and hang out in my buddy Jesse's truck, and everybody shows
Hang
up
out in the truck?
the truck. So we're this
A pickup truck?
pickup truck. We don't sit inside it. We literally stand around it like was it like those idiots from King of the Hill? They're like standing out by their
They're
street.
not idiots.
No, but I mean,
So you're
I'm equating those guys to
You're
me.
having a tailgate party.
Basically, we're having a tailgate party.
Oh, that looks
In
dangerous.
our-
That's water.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, tailgate party in our cul-de-sac neighborhood. Cheers, fellas.
That's a nice smelling mezcal.
Yeah, what is this?
Cheers,
This
cheers.
is, I don't know. Can we even say? Oh, it's smoky.
I do like that smoke. Very nice. Smooth.
Woo!
Very
I'll
nice.
drink to that. Smooth. Jeez, come on.
Going back to the
So
beer.
going back to the side pour, we would all show up with our own drink in our hand, and then we would habitually hang out and start shooting the shit with one another, and then a random bottle would kind of make its way from someone's house, and then we're like, oh, let's have a little taster, and we're trying to maintain our composure. It's typically in the afternoon. People still have to like go make dinner or maintain some sort of like peacefulness in their household before their wife gets home. So you don't want to like be like So we're like, let's sip these. And it turned into a side pour, which people that don't know, they would show up and we're pouring them in shot glasses sometimes because we get all manner of different glasses. But, sometimes they wind up in a shot glass and it's just like people are just slamming them. And we're like, whoa.
So you don't necessarily have to be sideways to the drink when you're drinking it, right?
I think the goal is to get sideways.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
Eventually. I don't know.
exactly. Exactly. So, the history of the side pour in a nutshell. Cheers, guys.
Cheers again.
Welcome to
Yes.
Do you have patches or like a club handshake or
Not
or
yet,
And
but
like,
maybe
it's
we
just a
should do
cul-de-sac
that.
here.
Yeah. Maybe I give out some stickers or something for Kent's Pub and
I can help you with stickers, by the way. I have a
Oh.
little sticker hustle.
Nice.
Pile Sticker Company. You
There
need
you have it.
stickers, and we want to thank our friends right here. I don't know.
bragabilia.
Bragabilia.
Bragabilia?
Jackpot.
Where's our tiger's milk? I mean, our tiger's blood.
Tiger Share.
This is
Tiger's share. That's
just so you know.
Oh, is that it?
This is a
That's right
quiet.
there. No,
This
that's
is a
his, Bragabilia.
This is a quiet flex in a can,
Quiet flex.
That's
I
what
dig
they say.
it.
so you can't hear it. It's like it's
I don't think I've
flexing
tried
in
that
there.
one.
This one?
It's flexing.
You want
Yeah.
this
You
one?
can't-
Not right now. I don't.
Can't
I've
quite hear
got.
it.
Can you tell I have plenty of energy? It's the side pour.
Well, now you know the history of the side pour, so
I think. I don't know. I'm just going to try something here.
bet you
Oh.
won't.
All right.
A little orange
There you go. There you go.
in my mezcal.
Oh, in your
See?
mezcal.
in my
Woo!
smoky mezcal.
I'll drink to that.
I'm just going to see what happens here.
That's going to fire you up like a rat eating onions. Whatever that means.
This flex is not quiet. This is not a quiet flex
flex?
right now. No, this is a noisy flex. I'm
How
kinda
long
liking
before?
it.
How long before Ray Buffer jumps in the pool?
Speaking of Ray Buffer, have you ever been told you look like someone? Because I had an experience on.
I get Howie Mandel sometimes.
Do
and
you?
I hate it.
I can
but,
see that
you
with
know,
the Into the Wild Frontier is this western that filmed in Montana, and there was a great director, Paul, who kept getting my name wrong. He kept calling me Ray Duffer. And do you get why he was calling me Ray Duffer instead of Ray Buffer? Because the Duffer
yes.
brothers,
Yes.
they produce strange things.
Oh, yep. There you go.
And David Harbour, who I'm told constantly I resemble, is in that show. So there was like a Freudian slip kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you get told you look like anyone?
I just mostly get people go, God, you're ugly. Stop it. And why do you sweat so much?
I have more. I don't know why. This is beautiful. You go cool off in your pool. Come on.
Nah.
Cannonball.
I don't really get a whole lot of.
You don't even swim in your own pool, do you?
I don't.
What the hell, dude?
Sometimes I do, but it's kind of funny where.
You get in the trampoline behind us?
No, I can't.
Is that a trampoline? Is that
It
what?
is,
Okay.
yeah.
That seems kind of sketchy to be trampolining
I can't
right
get on there.
at the edge of the
There's
canyon.
a 400-pound
Anybody
weight
gone
limit.
over?
What do you use that for? Is it like you just pretend you're Dusty Rhodes and get someone else to be Junkyard Dog and just play?
Dude, that's a
in the
good
back.
idea.
Yeah. In the
Oh, is that an
backyard?
octagon, really?
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah?
We should do that. We should. Me and Ray get
Cosplay?
slathered up in
Ooh.
baby oil and Speedos.
I prefer Crisco.
This went the wrong way really quickly.
Crisco Twister. The
Yeah.
little twister on the dude, that'd be pretty sweet.
I do love that scene in Stripes, though, when John
They did
Candy
Crisco
mud
too?
wrestles with
Oh.
all the strippers.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a great one.
What was
Have you ever
his
seen
name?
that?
No, Ox. I almost said Moose. Ox.
Ox?
Yeah. My name's Dewey Oxburger.
Mm.
What's his spiel? I swallowed a lot of something. Also swallow a lot of.
See,
Yeah. See.
I get jealous. I'm not one of those people that can memorize dialogue, or entire. There are people I know who they
Sure.
just like spout the entire movie. It's like me. I'm in one ear, out the other, which means I'm going to have a very ripe, seniorhood, because I'll be able to watch everything Star Wars for the first
For the
time.
first time.
Superman the movie for the first time.
That is your favorite movie, I read, right?
That is actually
Yeah.
Superman with Christopher Reeve.
with Christopher Reeve. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Where were you?
I hear like a little whining.
I know,
What
was
is
that
that?
was that- I thought I heard
is
the
it coming
pug.
through my headphones?
I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny.
That scared the shit out of all three of us. Like,
I thought it was Margot Kidder, asking for something. I don't know.
so Ray,
Yeah.
give me a weird fact. So a weird fact about you no one would believe. So for me, I've never seen The Lion King,
Wow.
which that may or may not be weird to some people, but I say that to some people and they're like, no way.
You've seen Star Wars, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I saw it originally, and then I just recently went and saw the 30th anniversary at the Hollywood Bowl, which was my first time at the Hollywood Bowl, actually. So that
Really?
might be kind of weird.
Wow.
I've never been to the Hollywood
I've
Bowl.
only been to Hollywood Bowl once,
never
and it's
been.
only been recently.
I've been there loads of times.
Oh, I
Well,
bet
that's
you
because
have.
I live in the music world, and
There
so,
you go.
I go see
There you
shows.
go.
Yeah.
That's amazing, though.
What's your weird, for instance, Tim Piles?
My weird, for instance. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
What's
the side?
a weird fact about you? So I've never.
I have a
been to Lion
tattoo
King.
of my face on my back.
Oh, okay.
That's one.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Weird.
So you can. So do
It is.
you have eyes in the back of your head? Is
I
that
do.
the idea?
Well, it's,
can
on my
see-
shoulder. Like I
Yeah.
said, I can pat my own.
That's one of those.
It's just
weird,
a dorky
like,
thing.
Yeah.
Prison things. Like
Oh,
Exactly.
you always have the eyes behind.
Uh-huh.
you.
So if you drop the soap,
I
you
don't
know what's
drop
coming.
the soap.
I got a tramp stamp that says "Don't tread on me" for that specific reason.
That's nice. That's
Somehow I believe that.
I do. That same flag right there.
Not that one. Sorry.
The only sizable tat I have is here. It's on my arm. I can't show it to you now, but it's I got it during the pandemic, as the pandemic started, because I went to Europe for the first time when I turned 50, and I was like, I went to a bunch of different countries, 3.5 weeks. Then I landed in Prague in the Czech Republic, and that's when the lockdown happened.
Oh wow.
And the only thing open after the lockdown was grocery stores and tattoo parlors. So I went in 15
Sanitary.
hours, a chair for 15 hours, got a whole map of my trip to Europe.
That's cool.
So this
Oh,
was my
cool.
first trip.
What was your favorite spot in Europe? Or
I
give us a
think-
rundown of where you hit.
Well, I think I flew round trip into Madrid. So I think going from Madrid to Gibraltar, seeing the monkeys on the wall
Yeah.
at the Rock Gibraltar, and then taking the ferry over to Tangier, Morocco, and spending time in Tangiers. I think that was the coolest thing, was just the Muslim environment, the culture shock of just being somewhere where I didn't speak the language and I was at the mercy of whoever was around me. You
Yeah.
know, it was just very very humbling, you
Yeah.
know, to be and just cool. I mean, just
Yeah.
to smell new smells, see new colors, you know, just
I
experience
did 5
life.
deployments to Iraq, which was kind of like that.
Well, you traveled,
Just kidding, just kidding.
everywhere, traveled the world.
Were you this jokey, I can't imagine. Like, you have a great attitude.
I try.
I'm really
I
great.
try.
You came out of all of your life experiences, and you are who you are today, because I can only imagine the trauma and things that people go through and various things.
Yeah.
Friends you
No,
may have
for
lost
sure.
too.
Yeah,
Sure.
no, for sure.
And I think it's pretty miraculous. Guys can come out of that and be able to be okay.
yeah.
You know,
I
you seem to
definitely-
be doing okay. Are you
I
okay?
yeah, I try.
I got to check in with you more
I
often.
try.
I think.
No, I definitely feel like my sense of humor, and I get it. I definitely get it from my parents, my dad mostly. But it's kind of weird. I definitely feel like having I wouldn't say a dark sense of humor, but just having a sense of humor in general
Sure.
is, I've got a lot of friends who've, gone through some crazy stuff and have, ultimately given them, killed themselves for stuff that happened overseas, and I literally, not to look at it in a way it's like, wow, how wasteful, but because everybody kind of, goes through their own thing, their own way. But I look at it like, man, I'm like, I don't like, how do you do that, and I don't feel like maybe, and I'm not trying to throw shade on anything that I did overseas or anything anybody else did overseas. It's just one of those things I'm like, and granted, everybody deals with their things the same way.
Cannabis is a really good thing. The federal government needs to approve cannabis so all the veterans can have cannabis at the VA. I work part-time for a cannabis company called HVGC, and they have a thing called Battle Brothers. It's a side element. It's like a nonprofit, and it's to help all of those guys.
I know a lot of dudes.
Find jobs, find places to live. And they have this really cool thing. They actually, for veterans, they'll do these all over the country. In California, where cannabis is legal, they can sign up, they can show up to these events and get considerable amount of cannabis contributed to them. So
I'm sure side pours help too, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt.
For me, everything in moderation. But then again, we have another slogan.
Everything in moderation?
Well, some things in moderation, but we have this other slogan that says moderation is for cowards. So, what do you do?
Right.
I used to wear this
Life
belt
is a
buckle.
balance.
Used to wear this belt buckle that used to say "drink, fight, fuck," which my wife was really pleased with. Just kidding.
Maybe
she didn't like to drink.
She might have been confused by the order.
When's the last time you got in a fight?
Oh man, I don't know.
Not with the Oak Ridge boys. That doesn't count.
Oh,
not that you guys fight.
Oh man, I lost a tooth one time in Danny's bar.
Where's Danny's bar?
Oh, it's in
Coronado.
Coronado. Yeah.
Let's go look for it.
That's hanging out.
No, I found it. I found it.
Did you get in a fight with a fellow SEAL?
No, this guy. We were in there. It was a team guy's wake.
Okay.
And the place was packed, and a guy like hucks a shot glass at one of the waitresses. And
oh damn, no, that's not cool.
We're like, dude, what are you doing? So.
Is that on the main drag with the palm tree?
Yeah, it's right beside Clayton's. It's on. It's right across from Starbucks on Orange.
And then what's the big SEAL bar down?
McPee's, which is on right there, kind of catty corner.
To Coronado Island over there, to the Hotel Del, or
I've been over there, but I haven't explored.
It's interesting because it does have where he trained down the street basically, and they have some bars there that are the places that the former Navy SEALs all hang out. And it kind of looks like that room back there a little bit.
Yeah. There's a lot of swag on the walls. A lot of like.
I hear that dog again.
Noise? You know what it is? It's me.
Oh,
I just realized it's me twisting my beer glass.
Stop that shit.
I swore it was Toby. Where's Toby?
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was a pug whining too, but no,
and
me.
you were doing it,
it's
and you
me.
were asking.
I'm asking as I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
So Ray Buffer is here with us, our guest. This is so cool to have you down here hanging out with us and visiting San Diego. You said you don't get down here a lot. How did this all happen today? How did these guys find you?
I just came here to twist this glass and make sound. I don't know. I think we found each other online, and it was a match made in heaven, I guess.
Well, we appreciate you coming down here and hanging out, and I'm fascinated to hear more about your career and this film thing that's coming out. I'll be looking for that. What was the name of the app again, or the?
Well, there's many apps out there. Drama Box.
But the one you're working on right now?
Real Short.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had a girlfriend in high school I would call Drama Box.
Oh, yeah? I bet. But no, I do have a couple of bigger films that might be coming out. I should plug. One is called Sky Crash, which is a sci-fi film I shot in Washington. And then there's another film called My Face, which is an action adventure that I shot in Oregon, and hopefully both of those will come out.
Awesome.
Soon.
Now I'm fascinated by the production of television and film now, right? It's gone well beyond just the theaters. Streaming is taking such a huge platform, and I feel like just as a viewer of television and a viewer of these things, that there just seems to be a lot more opportunities to do these streaming programs? I mean, do you feel like they're
Yeah, I mean, because you think back to the '80s when
I mean,
well,
three
I'm
networks,
going to
right?
say we, but when I grew up in the '80s,
I'm right there with
okay.
you.
I mean, yeah, there were 3 networks.
Yeah.
It was like everybody, I'm sure Hollywood. I wasn't in Hollywood at the time, but I can only imagine Hollywood was much more competitive. It was much more of a, there's those days where Spielberg's waiting outside the studio to get in. It's like. It was a different world, and it was more dog eat dog. And I think now with streaming and with things like Drama Box and vertical soap operas, there's just more opportunities out there for people. I mean,
you just need to get on like a Netflix series and get some of those, those like get me. I want you guys to
Let's
bring
do
me.
it.
Can I pretend to play a seal?
Yeah, I have
Maybe.
to train you. Let's get it there. And,
Can
do
I-
you shoot?
Can we call you Howie Mandel?
Sure, that works. Whatever.
Only if he acts like he's got OCD.
I'll wear prosthetics. I'll cover my tattoo.
I've shot a gun, but
Yeah.
I do not shoot. I wouldn't say that I.
You own a gun?
I do own one, but I bought it for my girlfriend.
Oh,
Yeah.
You bought it from her or for
I bought
her?
it for her.
Oh, for her.
But I've shot it
Yeah.
because we've gone to the range together.
That's
but,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, shit,
yeah.
we didn't even get to
I
the
wanted
Long
her
Beach.
to have
We didn't even get to
protection.
the Long Beach piece. You live in Long Beach.
I do.
What part of Long Beach? I don't want to give them your address, but
Well,
you're old part, or are you by the water?
I'm like right in the middle.
Promenade?
I'm like right. I'm near the Retro Row area.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Yeah.
old Long Beach and newer Long Beach, kind of like right in the median of that.
Okay.
What's
so-
the theater? Is that right by that old theater?
Yeah, the art theaters nearby.
That block is really cool right there.
Yeah,
right?
very cool. A lot of retro,
Yeah.
50s rockabilly kind of stores.
I love
Yeah.
Alex's Bar in Long Beach.
Alex's,
It's a
man.
great venue.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
rock and punk rock
A
plays
lot of
at that
eyeballs
venue.
and teeth getting swept up at the end of the night at that place, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why do you say that?
That sounds
Why not?
grotesque.
That's
and
actually,
weird.
what was the vampire TV show? The vampire, what was that? True Blood? That's the bar in True
Oh.
Blood is actually Alex's bar.
yeah, where you sweep up all the
You,
teeth.
you,
and
you
eyeballs.
rate bars based on how many teeth are left behind? Is that the
They only get a
criteria?
1 tooth. They only get a 1 tooth rating. They only had to sweep up 1 tooth. What a shithole. Alex's bar, 5 tooth
Five teeth.
rating.
5 teeth.
5 teeth, 1
Yeah.
eyeball.
Nice.
Yeah. No, but I've got cousins that live up in Long Beach, and when I was working on a show called The Last Ship.
The last shit?
Last Ship.
Ship.
Shit.
Sorry.
The T is silent.
Thank you.
Shit.
It's like bar talk.
I rented a
Bartok,
place.
The composer.
Yes.
Bartok.
Philip
I rented a
Bartok.
place up there, and it was right by Blondie's off of Lakewood.
Okay.
And Blondie's was a really cool bar, but then I would always meet up with my wife's cousins, and we would hit a handful of bars up there. And then he owns Lola's, which is on 4th,
Right,
and then
Lola's
the
great.
Socialist, and
Love that.
and they
Is the
have one in,
Roscoe's still up there in Long Beach, downtown
Chicken
Long Beach? The
and
Roscoe's
biscuits.
Chicken and Waffles, yeah.
Waffles.
Have you
yeah.
been to the Bamboo Tiki Bar? That place is pretty cool in Long Beach. I
I've
think they're
seen
doing shows
reference
there.
to it, but I've not been there. Yeah.
Are you a big nightlife guy? Do you go out, or are you a homebody?
Not really. I mean, most of my nightlife is spent at home with my pups and my girlfriend and Netflix, and then I have to do self-tapes and do the whole, being an actor is, the work is getting the work. You have
Yeah.
to be happy being unemployed and then hopefully finding work, being employed for a couple of days, then being unemployed again. And that's the roundabout thing. So, yeah, most of my nightlife is really my office time where I wait for my girlfriend to go to bed at 1 a.m. and then I set up my ring light and get my camera ready and get my scripts out and my teleprompter, and then I knock out 6 or 7 self-tapes and edit them and then send them in and upload them. And I mean, it takes 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you sleep all day. No, I'm
Well,
just kidding.
no.
I'm
Then
just kidding.
sometimes I have to get up early, like tomorrow.
Walk the dog.
I'm in San Diego now, but tomorrow I have to be in Santa Clarita by 9 a.m. So
Dang.
that means I've got to check out and leave around 5:30, drive up there. So
only 3 or 4 more side pours.
yeah. Oh well,
7.
maybe 9.
7 side
Maybe
pours.
9. Well, 10.
With that bragabilia. How's it with the bragabilia?
It is strangely sweet and spicy.
Is it like a quiet flex
Just like
in a
you,
can?
Ray Buffer.
Yeah, it's like me.
It's a
strangely
quiet
sweet,
flex in a can.
but not so quiet when you mix it with mezcal.
You're going to be up all night now.
It's a little noisy in there, but still palatable.
Ray Buffer, a noisy flex outside of a can.
Thank you. I've never been called that before.
You need like a rim shot or something.
They'll add it in post.
Oh, perfect.
See, just like they're going to add the Neil Sedaka that you wanted so badly.
Neil Sedaka.
Yeah.
Man.
Calendar Girls.
That's where the music takes me to.
How old was that woman again? Your music teacher?
74.
How did your mom approve? You said you were 13.
She was like Mrs. Magoo's sweetest lady. She was just like, she was German. She taught me how to make German potato salad. I mean, she was like kind of like a grandmother to me, but she was my first music teacher. So that's
So
she's kind of like responsible for me becoming an artist.
Can
Yeah.
you
That's
belt?
cool.
Can you
That is really cool.
on cue? Obviously, this wasn't planned, but can you give us a couple of bars of something memorable? A little.
Did you say you... Wait. I heard something earlier, but did you say you played Tevye?
I did.
So if you want to do anything from that,
If I were a rich
Thank you.
man, yiddle deedle daddle deagle deedle deedle daddle dum, all day long I'd viddy fum. If I were a wealthy man, wouldn't have to work hard. Yiddle deedle daddle deedle 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 daddle dum. That's about it.
Oh,
Nice
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, thank you.
Dude, I will say, that almost brought tears to my eyes. That was one of my dad's Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, really?
Was like his thing. That was like his jam.
So years ago,
and I had to endure that shit.
I got to see him on do the Broadway production though.
That's funny.
That was a good time, though.
Good times.
Well,
Dog
hey,
again.
I think that's a great spot. Hey, Ray, man, it's been damn glad to have
Side
you.
pour.
I got this one.
Side
Seriously.
pour.
No more. I finished my side.
Reach
pour.
around.
Side pour.
Reach around.
Side pour, reach around.
Touching
Hashtag.
myself.
RayBuffer.com, right? That's your website, I believe?
Ray.buffer. Yeah, raybuffer.com
That's pretty
or
easy.
at the real Ray Buffer on Instagram, TikTok, what have
He's
you.
available for quinceañeras, voiceovers, hosting parties.
Yeah. Petting zoos.
And when I'm not drinking, I can be your Santa.
Perfect. Tim, get over there and sit on his lap. Nice work, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Ray Buffer. So nice to meet you, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
your time. Yeah, this
It
is
was
cool.
great fun being with you.
Dude, I feel like we could do a third segment. That was fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, shit. Like,
That's why you got to bring the drinks out earlier.
yeah, loosen up a little bit. That's all okay.